In 1789, France is deeply in debt due to losing a war with Britain and also funding the American Revolution. So France basically declares bankruptcy. So they raise taxes to get more money, but that doesn't work very well since in France they only tax the poor people. Along with this, the Enlightenment is bringing in new ideas about the king maybe not getting his power from God, and along with this, the harvest is ruined by hailstorms, so food prices are increased, meaning that the poor people can't afford food, which causes widespread hunger. And the bottom line is that the poor people are doing very terribly in France at this time. In response to these issues, King Louis XVI called a meeting of the Estates General, which consisted of three estates. The first estate was the clergy, the second estate was the nobility, and the third estate was everyone else. Each one of these estates got 1/3 of the delegates, and the clergy and the nobility were only 2% of the population, but they still got 2/3 of the delegates, whereas the other people of the third estate, 98% of the population, got only 1/3 of the delegates. So since the people of the third estate didn't see this as fair, they decided to form their own national assembly, and they assembled in an indoor tennis court and swore the famous tennis court oath to not stop until France had its own constitution. So then Louis XVI sent troops to Paris to calm uprisings, but the revolutionaries saw this as a provocation. And so, in response to that, they stormed the Bastille prison to free prisoners, but mostly to get guns. The most important thing was that on August 4th, they abolished most of the Ancien regime, taking away the privileges that nobles had had, like unfair taxation. Then, on August 26th, the National Assembly proclaimed the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen, which said that everyone had the right to liberty, security, and property. Later on in the Revolution, King Louis XVI and his wife Marie Antoinette were both sentenced to death by the guillotine. And during the course of the Revolution, France also started wars with Britain and Austria, which they ended up winning due to Napoleon Bonaparte. And at the very end of the Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte came to power and basically had absolute power. So in the beginning of the French Revolution, there was an absolute monarch, and at the end of the French Revolution, there was another absolute monarch. So was the French Revolution a success? If you look at the immediate aftermath, going from an absolute ruler to another absolute ruler, you could argue that no, it was not a success. But France today has a democracy based off of the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizens that was written during the French Revolution, and France is also very wealthy. So in the end, France got what it wanted. It just took a lot longer than expected. So you could argue that no, the initial end of the revolution was not a success, but in the end, when you look at it from a perspective of modern day, yes, the French Revolution was successful. To compare the French Revolution to modern day current events, you could think of the Syrian Revolution, because in both cases, a lot of people rebelled against an authoritarian, absolute power, or you could even say monarch, because Assad got his power from his father, that did not represent their interests. Anyway, that's all about the French Revolution. Thanks for watching. Bye!